Well, my name's Kenton Sitch of the Kenton Sitch Band. I've been playing guitar since about age 7, and I took lessons for 10 years. My instructor was an older man. He had passed away at that time, and that something got a hold of me at that point and really excited me to pursue organized music. So that's when I started my first band, and then from there on out, it's been in pursuit of learning more, always buying more resources, teaching myself really beyond that point, using the foundation that I received from him.
My name's Jack Gassler, bassist with the Kenton Sitch Band. I ran into these guys a little more than a year ago. I was crossing over from rock projects and decided to reinvent myself and get into contemporary country.
After I graduated from college, I was so bored with music, I was like, I'm going to go on Craigslist and see what's happening. I answered like probably 50 Craigslist ads. Most of them were a bunch of goofy people that couldn't even type a complete sentence in English. Kenton was one of the few people who used periods and capital letters, so that was a pretty good sign for me.
I'm Ron Wintersgill, drummer for the Kenton Sitch Band. So I've been with the band now for just a little over a year. Started the project back in the spring of last year, actually. So we're on board, we're moving and shaking, and we're doing the best we can to put the original material out there for everybody.
When I write and when I play a lick, you hand me the guitar and say play something, it comes out like a classic rock, bluesy rock thing, which nowadays is pushed as country music radio. So that's what I went with, and I received some feedback from producers that really thought my stuff was competitive on the radio, so it gave me the green light. Had the opportunity to win a local competition, gave me the national radio promotion. SMG Records Nashville was there actually judging and did that, so that helped get the original music going, and that was part of my story that I put out online when I started fishing for these guys.
I came out of the world of rock, so my influences up to that point in time were artists such as Godsmack, Disturbed, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
My music background starts in a jazz background. Worked through the jazz and the R&B back in the 70s and the 80s. Got into the rock and roll scene for quite some time as well. Played with several different bands. Too many to name, to be perfectly honest with you. Got to the point where I had made the decision that it was time to move into a more professional atmosphere.
In high school, I really got heavy into jazz. So my biggest jazz influence is Snarky Puppy, one of the greatest bands on the planet today. I was 10, 11, 12, something like that. I don't remember how old I was, but I was young. And he's like, you ever heard of Leonard Skinner? I'm like, no, I don't think so. He goes, what? You've never heard of Leonard Skinner? He goes, Travis, grab that CD, put that in there and play Freebird for this boy. So he played Freebird for me, and my response was, I didn't know the guitar could do that.
My first inspiration was actually Prince. I heard him play the Purple Rain guitar solo when I was 6 and a half, and I said, what is that? I've got to do that. So ever since then, of course I listened to all kinds of artists and covered all kinds of rock material, but I have too many favorites to mention, but that sound was the first thing I heard and motivated me to play the electric guitar.
Fun fact about me would probably be a very long career in the United States Army. I've been in the aerospace industry for many, many years, and I like things that fly real fast.
A lot of people know this about me that I work with or family that I'm close with, but I'm actually a wholehearted believer in Bigfoot. I know that he exists, or and she. I believe they're out there. I research that kind of stuff all the time. Genetics, those kind of things. Mythical creatures, Loch Ness Monster, the Megalodon shark, the plesiosaur, those kind of things. Anyone will say, yep, that's Kenton.
One of the most fun facts is that I have a bunch of first cousins in Germany, and I go over there and visit them all the time. That's my home away from home.
2 weeks after I joined the band, my wife and I were on vacation down in Florida. And while I was down there, I was playing with a youngster about 6 years old on the beach, running backwards, and fell and shattered my wrist. When we got back from Florida, I went over to the studio just to talk to him and warm him up to the idea that I was going to have surgery. They learned that day that I was able to also play keyboard, so I wound up doing a 5-hour session that day with a broken arm, playing all the bass lines on keyboards. So it was kind of ironic that we'd never missed a beat putting this project together.